Sorry, your 2 minutes begins now. Thank you.
Harrison Hot Springs is a tourist destination. We need to attract new and more diverse businesses. This can be achieved by supporting them with incentives which would depend on the size of the business and what they are bringing to the tourist community. The business owners would need to comply with strict timescales for the start and completion of their business plan. Any incentives would need to be fully approved at an open council meeting with consultation period from the residents and existing business to ensure transparency. Work needs to be undertaken on and around the lagoon to increase the amount of leisure space for visitors, reducing the size of the lagoon and making the area more attractive. We can install such items as basketball courts, paved area for street hockey, five-a-side football pitch, which can be used all year round by visitors and this community. The Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Harrison will need to be involved in our visions for the future. Tourism Harrison are being proactive with the new Christmas lights to attract winter visitors. I would like to see an increase in the number of tourists by the end of the 4-year council period to at least 10 to 15%. Thank you.
Thank you. Tourism provides the economical stability to our village, but it has been restricted to a seasonal period, taking advantage of everything we have to offer. We must begin to be better prepared for our future, requiring new approaches and new thinking. The past lesson learned is a point that we have heard over and over again. There is no silver bullet. We should take nothing off the table. There needs to be a balance struck between investing small amounts of revenue to maintain or improve infrastructure and looking at some big picture opportunities. The uniqueness that has made Harrison a desired tourist destination could be lost to overdevelopment or poor development strategies. We must take care to manage our growing population and tourism growth so that the special small character of Harrison remains. How can we accomplish this? With other surrounding communities competing for tourist and funding sources, we need to continue to combine our efforts. Tourism development should also continue as a regional strategy. Establish a tourism advisory committee, including representatives from our business community, community organizations, and residents whose mandate is to develop a new and comprehensive plan for economic development strategies. Preserving and promoting the historical significance and natural beauty of our area. Opposing those industries which will have a detrimental effect on our economic well-being, growth, and way of life. And I see a lot of you wearing our Stop the Quarry buttons tonight. Thank you. Our council requires a proactive approach, not a reactive approach to meet the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge that the current sitting council has been taking action on reducing the business tax rate over the past 4 years. And this showcases the importance of having a strong and sustainable local business base and may it be attractive to new businesses that choose Harrison. We, as council, can and should continue to work with government to ensure that the RMI funding continues. This funding enables tourism-based infrastructure improvements that essentially set the foundation for visitors to enjoy during their stays and return trips. Having year-round events, festivals, and infrastructure that supports all-season activities is essential. By maintaining relationships with groups, associations, societies, Tourism Harrison and the Chamber will ensure that their hard work and dedication goes into the events and is supported by residents and visitors alike, which relates into bringing bringing customers into businesses. I believe embracing our local gems, history, and partnerships is essentially for year-round visitors. ecotourism, embracing partnerships with our Indigenous neighbors to showcase the history of the area, and exploring ideas with the District of Kent to bolster tourism in both of our neighboring communities. These are some options that we as council could consider. Although tourism and the Chamber do an outstanding job of supporting and promoting local businesses, perhaps investigating the possibility of implementing a BIA as another branch of business support could be taken on. The beautification of our village is held in high regard to any business, and we should, as council, continue to take this on as a priority. Council should also continue to lobby the government for a safe and efficient highway system. When Highway 1 closes or has delays, tourism travel is greatly
Thank you.
affected. Thank you.
2 minutes. Your
Thank
time
you.
starts now.
Thank you very much. I'm in Harrison because it is such a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place, and we have one of the better arts communities that I have seen in most communities. So it seems to me in terms of tourism, we need to focus on what we do well. We didn't create this beautiful natural environment, but we have to protect it. We have that as a major draw, and we have arts. So in terms of tourism, obviously, I don't think I'd want to see our taxes increase to basically enhance tourism, but we have the resort municipality funding, and people who have sorted that out in the past deserve a lot of credit that we have that. That, I think, needs to be devoted to additional events. I would like to see events that, again, obviously focus on our natural environment, focus on our culture, focus on reconciliation events with some of our Indigenous friends in the area. And those sorts of events, I think, will bring tourism. We have a strong tourist base in the summer. It seems to me that a lot of the summer we're working at capacity. So how do we make the spring, how do we make the fall more attractive for businesses? And I think it's very possible to do, but I think it would be events. And those events, if we do them properly, will not only draw tourists, but it'll also make living in Harrison more enjoyable for people who are here to be going to those sorts of events. There's nothing more enjoyable in summer than going to the arts festivals. And there's no reason that an arts festival can't be in April or in November. And I think we have to really work on what our strengths are. Similarly, we have to protect our environment. I think when we have subdivisions go forward, we have to make sure that there's no clear cutting, that there are some trees that can stay. And I think if we protect our environment, because it is the strongest part of our brand, if we work our brand properly and use that brand to bring in tourists, I think we'll all find that we're happy with the results. Thank you.
This begins now.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to go at this a little bit different. Tourism Harrison did a great job. We've gone from 50,000 visitors in 2005 up to 500,000. What I would recommend is we define our target area. What types of business, commercial would be best suited for our village and be compatible to all of our values. Develop a portfolio outlining all the reasons why Harrison is a great place to do business, live, and work. We have the infrastructure in place, wonderful environment, great people, best scenery, period, and much more. Included will be the excellent pictorial presentation, calendar of events, the value of our established and very, very well-run Tourism Harrison, recipients of the provincial hotel tax, with the village receiving the Resort Municipal Initiative revenue. List all the properties available by size, zoning, lakefront, parking, what land might be the best suited for, along with a copy of the official community plan, applicable bylaws, and any incentives that we may have for people who may want to come into Harrison to build, say, a new hotel or something like that. Staffing. This is a very critical element. Prospective employers will want to know the availability of employees and their skill levels. Right now, it's very, very difficult, but before we do anything and get this all in motion, we have to cover that base. Once we've got the portfolio in place, and it's going to look really, really nice, the promotion will start. Business is not going to walk in the door. We have to go out and get it. We will be successful. Thank you.
Your 2 minutes begins now. Oh. Struggle with my phone as well, so I'll give him a second. You'll help. Oh, I can start. Oh, phones are off. Okay, candidate, your 2 minutes begins now.
As a prelude, I would like to mention that I heard about some of the disunity on the council. I would like to briefly state from the outset that if the rumors are true, and I have nothing to say whether they are or aren't, but if elected, I would like to say that I don't want to be involved in any of that. I just want to do my job. My point is, when the leadership and the people stand unified and rise above squabbling, factionalism, and partisanship, the good ideas flow. And when those ideas are implemented, I believe the business will come. When we are not fighting one another, we can get down to the business of doing business. If we want to bring in the tourist dollars consistently and on a year-round basis, we must be prepared to deal with the downside of such increased tourism, such as more traffic, more people, and more congestion. We may, and this is just maybe my own idea, may have to somehow widen Hot Springs Road to accommodate the increased traffic. Now, are you ready for this? If we need a tourist resort destination, then let's build one. How about a resort casino? Or perhaps that's too radical. Maybe that's too radical. Then how about this? I know my following idea or some reiteration of it can work. Remember the casino paddle boat in New Westminster? Well, it's currently in Campbell River. But there's nothing to say that it can't be revamped and relicensed and be sailed upriver onto our waterfront or just off the shore. We can bring in clientele via float planes. We can do lake tours. The resultant overspill to local businesses would be considerable. But if for any reason things ever get too much, then we can just get the boat to sail away into the sunset and come back another day when we need her. Thank you.